How Spider-Man Far From Home will resolve the fallout from Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame has become a bona fide phenomenon in our world, still dominating the box office 2 weeks after its release with no real signs of slowing down. However, in terms of the post-Endgame world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there are still a ton of unanswered questions and consequences that the film barely touches upon. Now we saw some of this fallout in the new trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, which dropped earlier this week, but thanks to an interview director Jon Watts gave over at Fandango, it sounds like Spider-Man Far From Home will directly address and resolve some of these questions. Of course, before we go any further, we'll throw it out to our good friend, the young Thomas Holland, for a spoiler warning.
Stop watching, because there's some serious spoilers about to come up.
One of the biggest lingering questions about the post-Endgame world is how will the MCU deal with the snapping and the return of those snapped. In Endgame, we didn't see much of how the world was reacting to the revival of half of its population and the emotional and logistical repercussions which would come with it. Oh God, what if you ended up building a house where some trees were and then the forest was just like, goosh! You're like, ah! But according to the Far From Home director, it looks like this Spider-Man outing will be tackling repercussions head on. Yeah, that's one of the fun things that we get to play with, the sort of real-world, ground-level implications of something like that. You don't get to see any of the fallout in Endgame, and we get to explore that in our movie. It's really interesting and fun. As to how soon after the snap this happens, well, we had heard from Spider-Man Homecoming producer Amy Pascal that this film picks up a few minutes after Endgame, with Jon Watts basically confirming this and giving us a few more details. We don't say specifically how far after, but the idea is that it's almost immediately after the events of Endgame, so we get to see the neighborhood from the first movie dealing with the implications of all of the crazy fallout of Endgame, and you know, in classic New York style, everyone is just moving on and getting on with their daily lives. You know, half the people that disappeared are now back, so let's move on. Laughs. So it sounds like there will be some lighthearted moments in Far From Home that won't be focused on Peter Parker's steady stream of tears. Speaking of which, what's up with Spider-Man crying all the time?
Yeah, I miss him too.
Over here, Uncle Ben.
Uncle Aaron.
Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben.
Watts elaborated on some of the more mundane consequences, getting into the minutia and everyday conditions that would have been affected by the snap. In fact, you might remember this shot from the first trailer for Far From Home, which shows Peter Parker's passport.
Peter Parker here to pick up a passport, please.
Try saying that 5 times fast. Peter Parker here to pick up his passport. Peter Parker here to pick up his passport. Peter Parker here to pick up his passport. I did it. Peter Parker here to pick up his passport. Peter Parker here to pick up his passport. Peter Parker here to pick up his passport. I'm so good. Anyway, the shot had Peter's birthday edited out, leaving fans to speculate on his fate in Endgame. Well, in the interview, Jon Watts gives us a hint about what is going on with the missing birth date. That was one of the most fun things, just talking through what the most mundane implications would be. Like, your birthday on your driver's license or passport would say that you are 5 years older than you technically are. Those sorts of questions are just so fascinating to me, and I really wanted to get into the minutia of it and really explore that. So, because this is a high school movie, we can all start looking forward to some liquor store shenanigans going down with these wonky ID situations. Nice try, Peter. No one is buying that you are 21. Hell, even Chris Hemsworth had to buy Tom Holland in real life beer because no one thought that he was old enough. That's amazing. Moving on to some of the characters we'll see in Far From Home, Jon Watts confirmed that Aunt May also got snapped and came back, which we also know happened to Peter Parker's best friend Ned Leeds. Far From Home will also address Happy Hogan's new role in a post-Tony Stark world. Jon Watts had this to say about Happy being not so happy. Similar to Peter, who lost his mentor in Tony, you know, Happy has been there since the very beginning. I think a big part of this story is trying to find your place in the world if the center of your world is gone. I've always liked Happy as a character, and to use him to explore some of these things was really exciting. To explore a world without Tony, who was the man that created Iron Man.
With a box of scraps!
It's clear from the Spider-Man trailer that we will see how the world deals with the loss of Iron Man, and it'll be interesting to see how they adjust after such a massive hit, as well as handle the 5-year snap/unsnap. Luckily, we just have to wait a few short months to see it when Spider-Man Far From Home hits theaters in July. But what do you folks think? How do you think the world will handle half of its population being brought back to life? What silly or boring post-Thanos issue would you like to see play out in this movie? And which is more of a crime? The fact that Tom Holland seriously hasn't seen Empire Strikes Back, Alien, or 16 Candles? Let's discuss. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and mash that little bell to get notified every time we go live with a show or drop a new video. And if this wasn't enough Spider-Man for you, check out yesterday's Nerdist News where we broke down how the Spider-Man trailer is lying to us about the multiverse. Check it out right now.